right, guys, today we're going to talk about the trail arm. We're going to get it folding on the way back. We're going to get it unfolding on the way through. We're going to talk about leveraging the golf club. Incredibly important. So many golfers struggle with using their arms and wrists correctly in their golf swing. They're making life very hard for themselves. They're spinning their body back to the ball. Body's getting out in front of the arms. Body has to stall. Then they finish the swing with the wrists and arms. Everyone's out of sequence for the most part. And that's really what a golf swing is. At the end of the day, the arms control the sort of vertical elements in the golf swing, the ups and the downs. We combine that with some rotational elements, some horizontal elements in the body. And we got ourselves what I would describe as a balanced golf swing, a robust golf swing, a swing that you can use for the rest of your life. Okay, most golfers are in that horizontal stage way too early. They don't have any vertical elements, unfortunately, leaving their arms at the start line. That is a huge problem for you slicers out there, or you golfers that the harder you swing, the shorter you hit it. That's the reason why, okay? You don't have any leverage. You don't have any leverage. So let's talk about the trail arm. First thing you need to understand is the importance of your setup, okay? We've got to make sure your trail elbow is relaxed. Get the tension out of your trail shoulder and arm. I can't tell how many people I see that set up to it. This right side is absolutely paralyzed, right? It's completely locked up. So you look at a good golfer, the first thing you're going to see is how relaxed this right arm is as it's presented to the golf club. It's very, very soft, all right? The elbow is going to point towards me here, okay? My pit of my arm, all right, is going to point towards the camera. You can't possibly fold your trail arm if your elbow's out here to start with. Turn your trail hand and get it on top of the golf club so it matches your club face. That's going to make life very easy for you, especially as you go into the longer clubs, those hybrids and those woods that you struggle with. So make sure that trail hand is rotated, but don't get the arm moving in the same direction. As far as the backswing is concerned, there's an order of things here. We want the club head to travel the furthest in the backswing, which requires it to move the quickest. So many golfers, unfortunately, move the club head at the same speed as their body, right? So if I move the club away at the same speed as my body, because in my mind, you need a one-piece takeaway. We've heard this comment, one-piece takeaway, one-piece takeaway. What tends to happen is, of course, the body meets its destination too soon. Can you see that? So now my body is going to stall. I've got no place I can go, and my arms are going to meet their destination too late. So those of you that are in a very pinched, triangulated position here, you have what we call runoff. You're most likely not creating this leverage and structure soon enough. We've got to make sure we create an L in the backswing, okay, between the lead arm and shaft, heck, between the trail arm and shaft, halfway back. That requires the club head to move a lot quicker in the early part of the backswing. Now, it's not that you're not turning, all right? It's a blend of turn and hinge. We're blending the turn with the hinge. I like a little momentum drill. Great drill. If you just start forward and then create a little bit of momentum, you can see here, when my trail hand gets just outside my right leg here, there's no question we've got some angle already formed here between the shaft and my lead wrist. What I'm doing here is I'm getting that club head moving up a little quicker. If I don't, it's going to drag around the corner, okay? You wonder why so many of you get the club too far inside early. It's because you're not getting the club head moving up quick enough relative to the pivoting motion of your body. We've got to get that club moving faster. The trail wrist is going to hinge back towards the lower arm. We don't want to roll the wrist. We're going to hinge this way. For most of you, it's going to be very, very helpful to feel as if your palm is actually pointing down in this position. I see a lot of golfers rolling the club away. That's not what we're looking for. But again, we've got to create these angles early. And then what I like to do is I like to fold my lower arm sooner as well. So what I'm doing is I'm starting to fold my lower arm towards my upper arm right around waist high. And that's giving me that really nice box where I'm creating those angles to the side of me between my shaft and my lower arm and my upper arm, right in around here. That's actually quite soon, isn't it? Can you see that? The sooner we can do that, the more proficient the top of our backswing is going to be. For those of you that are much later to the game, you're going to have to unpack some of this stuff later in your backswing, and you wonder why some of you overswing or feel like the club's just kind of out of control at the top. So the irony behind this whole thing, and it's such a difficult game, as you all know, it's a very challenging game, is that if we can be somewhat narrow early, and I'm not talking about pinching and bringing your arms towards you, but if we can be a little bit more sort of structured and boxed up soon, can you see that? From this position, we can create some width late, which is what we're looking for. If we try and create width early, a lot of the time, unfortunately, we're going to be narrow late. So with all that good intention to put your trail arm in a position to the side of you where it can drop down in front of you freely and uninhibited, for so many golfers, unfortunately, they're not in that position. They know where they need to be, but they're never able to do it. It all boils down to creating angles soon, all right, in order to be able to maintain those angles late, all right? The last part of the backswing, as we complete our turn, what we're going to do is we're going to take our upper arm and we're going to start to elevate it a little bit, okay? We're going to create the final angle here, okay, is between the tricep and the rib cage, if you've got the mobility to do it. If you don't, not the end of the world. But if we can create a little bit of elevation, the last part of the swing, there's my wrist structure, okay, and there's my lower arm, and now if you can see this, as I go to the top, I can start to elevate my trail arm, get it up a little bit higher. Now I've got something I can go the other way with. Now I've got something that I can release, okay? I can get that right arm straightening. I can get the club releasing back to the golf ball. That is a great feeling. So we just reverse that motion. Hey guys, quick TV timeout. A lot of people asking, how do I work with Andrew in person? I do half and 4 day immersions. I am the director of instruction at the Links at Stono Ferry. We're based 18 miles due west of one of the most beautiful cities, not just here in the United States, but possibly in the world, Charleston, South Carolina. We have amazing beaches, incredible food, great golf, and of course, phenomenal weather. Great excuse to come visit this amazing city. Come and work with me for half or 4 day. Improve your golf. It's a win-win for everyone. So check out the information in the description. You can reach me via my contact page. And again, I really look forward to the opportunity of working with you in person. We'll talk to you soon. As we get to the top of the backswing, the upper arm works back down, reconnects to the body, and then the lower arm starts to straighten, and then of course now the trail wrist is going to go ahead and unhinge. Now we've got that beautiful line that's formed between the shaft, the lead arm, and the lead leg at the point of collision. We are essentially keeping our upper body closed as the arms drop. What we're not doing is spinning back to the ball, which keeps the arm too high across the chest. We're forced to release the club early. Anytime you do that, we've got to get those arms working down, all right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and send that speed home. Use your trail hand, guys. Some of you are going to have to use your trail hand more this way in a more rotary fashion. Some of you are going to have to use your trail hand a little bit more this way, more underhand, okay? That's going to be predicated on how open or closed your club face is. A golfer with a more neutral grip is going to require a little bit more rotation. A golfer with a more closed club face is going to require a little bit less, okay? The release patterns, they are going to be dependent on your grip and or club face orientation in your golf swing. There's no question in my mind that the arms control the vertical elements of the downswing without question. Upper body stays back as arms drop. That gets us in a position here where we can start to deliver the club into the back of the golf ball proficiently. If you're all horizontals with no verticals, you're going to struggle. So many of you slice the golf ball. That's the main reason why you do that. Now, quit trying to get open at impact. Quit trying to get your shaft leaning forward at impact. That is an absolute nightmare for most golfers. What I want you to do here is use the momentum of the club here to get yourself open as you swing through. You'll be shocked at how dynamically your body will move if you allow your arms to swing more freely past your body. The body will respond dynamically. I can assure you, you're going to find all your pressures on your front foot. You're going to find your hips are pointing probably more at the target than they ever have. You're probably going to find you're more up on your toe than you've ever been in your life. The irony behind the whole thing, the more you try and force your body into these positions, right, where we're trying to get into the left side, we're trying to get open, what we're going to have to do here is stall the body in order to have the arms catch up. You wind up on your back foot, you know, you wind up with your elbow in this position, you wind up in these terrible positions. It's a brutal game, there's no question. You know, I mean, I think it's a feel v real thing, okay? Ultimately, our proprioception, our feel for what the club is doing without using our eyes, which is what that is the biggest challenge when it comes to coaching, okay? We feel like we're turning the body into the golf ball, we're just getting out in front of it, right? If we feel like the arms are dropping, the upper body is staying back, we're probably more likely moving into our left side, we're creating some good angles, we're storing some energy, and we're releasing at the right time. That is the difficulty with this game. So when I talk about arms dropping, it is definitely a feel, not necessarily a real. I don't know that I've ever seen anyone actually bring their arms down without moving their body dynamically. It just doesn't happen. We're all kind of programmed to move our body this way. So start to get this golf club leverage, start to get it in a position where it can drop as you change direction, keeping the upper body back. I know it's going to make a world of difference. If you have any comments, I always get back to anyone. If you think that this could help, go ahead and share. And thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. I really, really appreciate it, guys. We'll talk to you next time.